Huepa's ready. Are you ready to elect one of the most badass mayors in the United States? You all are gonna do that. Buffalo's gonna do that. This city right here is gonna do that. And it's gonna be a shining light for the rest of this country when you do that. I am so excited to be here in Buffalo. I really am, for so many reasons. So many reasons. One is that y'all are making waves, okay? Buffalo is making waves, has been making waves. And I want you to know that we are watching, that the state is watching, that down in the Bronx and Queens we see what y'all are doing, and around the country we see what y'all are doing, okay? We do. We see it. Shout out to the CWA strikers out at Mercy Hospital. Shout out to our Starbucks workers who are trying to have the first unionized Starbucks in the country. Shout out to the organizers here who upended the political establishment in June and overturned an incumbent. That's not easy. You all are doing it. You're doing the damn thing. And that's what it takes. That's what it takes. And what I love is that we're doing it in a post-industrial city right here in New York State. Post-industrial city. We're taking away all the excuses. We're taking away all the excuses. When we go around and people say, whether it's in Washington or whether it's in New York City or anywhere else, and they say universal child care is not possible. They say guaranteed health care is not a possibility. They say the labor movement is too anemic and it will never be what it once was. All of that. They say all of that stuff because they say post-industrial cities cannot do that anymore. They don't want to do that anymore. And Buffalo is taking that excuse away. First they said, 3 years ago when I first started running, they said you cannot run against a multi-million-dollar incumbent, a 20-year incumbent who is poised to be the next Speaker of the House, that is a $3 million campaign, it's just a drop in the bucket for him. You can't do that. He's the chair of the Queens Democratic Party, totally entrenched, everything locked. You can't do that. That's what they said. I said, and they told that to everyone for so long that there wasn't a primary challenge in our community for 14 years. 14 years we didn't have a choice in who led us. And I said, you know what? I was wiping down, the bar at the end of my shift, and I said, well, why don't we try? I said, why don't we try? I did not care whether we won or lost. I cared about winning at that time, but we had so many things we needed to do. We needed to organize our community first. And so I said, we started running way early. And I said, I'm not gonna focus on that right now. What I want, my goal, is for my community to be more educated, organized, and rallied at the end of this process than it was before. And that's what our goal is. That's what our goal is. And if we meet that goal, then we can win. Then we can win. So we did it. So we win. It was crazy. Then they said the day after, or 2 days after, it was a fluke. It was a fluke is what they said. From former Governor Cuomo. This is like 5 minutes there. He said, this is a fluke. It was an accident. Forget about all of this. This never happened, right? This didn't happen. It was a fluke, like, this is just a one-off. Okay, all right, it's a one-off. Then Ayanna Pressley got elected. Then Rashida Tlaib got elected. Then Ilhan Omar got elected. All in 1 year. They said, it's just a crazy midterm. It's just this 1 year, 2018. It's just, it's just this 1 year. Just so, it's an off year, okay? But this will never happen again. Yeah, this will never happen again. All right, okay, fine. Then 2020 came around. Cori Bush won her primary in Missouri. Overturned an incumbent. Jamal Bowman overturned a multi-decade incumbent in the Bronx. Mondaire Jones got elected. Marie Newman got elected. A 24, 25-year-old, 26 maybe at the time, Jessica Cisneros came within 1 point of beating a Koch brother-backed congressional incumbent. And then they said, oh, maybe this wasn't an accident. And then they started taking us very seriously. Very seriously. But let me tell you about why this race right here is important. Because those right there are legislative victories. They're very important. And to start getting these notches in and start building this coalition is incredibly important. It is critical, and it's having its effects. Because of all of that organizing, the Progressive Caucus in Washington held out and said, no, Senator Manchin, we are not going to just pass and rubber stamp this until we get child care in this country. So we're getting there's a little spine that's developing out there. But on that note, let me tell you, how does that make this race important? Because it is not enough for us to just have victories in legislative bodies. We need to show that we can execute. We need to show that we can do the damn thing. We need to show that we can govern in executive positions. Because the only reason that the Democratic Party in Washington has even believed and felt and started rallying around universal child care in the United States is because the city did it first. It's because we did it in New York City. New York City, we came out and we said, we're going to have universal pre-K. We're going to do it. Universal pre-K. And everybody said no. Vicious lobbying. At that time, it was an effort that was incredibly lobbied against. Even the New York Times said this is irresponsible and we can't get it done, and that the proposal is a pipe dream, But you know what? We passed it. We established universal pre-K in New York City. But it's not good enough for us to just have it in New York City. We need to have it in Schenectady. We need to have it in Rochester. We need to have it in Buffalo. We need to have it in Woodstock. We need to have it in rural areas. We need to have it in urban areas. We need to have it across the entire country, okay? But the only way that we do it is because we did it in a city first. When India Walton successfully makes the city safer without militarizing it further, we're going to be able to do that. When India Walton supports a labor movement that with protections around labor, we're going to be able to do it on the federal level. When India Walton raises wages here, when India Walton protects renters and tenants here, when India Walton starts to cap and starts to stop the runaway cost of housing in this city, we're going to be able to do it federally. That's why it's important for you all to elect India Walton. That's why it's important. We do it in Buffalo, we can do it anywhere. We do it here, we can do it anywhere. And we've seen, love you back. And we've seen how capital and lobbyists and dark money are mobilizing in this race. Because now, not so much of a fluke anymore, is it? So, they're mobilizing, they're doing, they're pulling any trick in the book, and we just gotta say it right here. India Walton, as a black woman, they are targeting her and mobilizing the worst tricks in the book against her, okay? We have to really be so cognizant of that. And we have to have her back, because I am sick of a Democratic Party that says black women are the backbone, but they're not the front, okay? No. All right? We're not gonna play that anymore. She's gonna lead us because she can. She's gonna lead us because she will. We have her back. We have her back. And, lastly, seriously, this is just embarrassing at this point. It's just embarrassing. We have the Democratic nominee for mayor is India Walton. I have endorsed candidates in the past. As Cynthia Nixon has said, I strongly believe that if in order for one of us to make it through, 100 of us have to try. That is movement politics. That is what it is. You take your bruises, you take your scratches, but you're in the arena. You're in the arena. And for one of us to make it through, 100 of us have to try. We try and try and try, and then we will win. And here's the deal. There are many primaries where I have stood behind incredible community organizers. And you know what? That moment may not have been the time. That's okay. We get up and we move on. But when that nominee wins, I do not try to undermine the entire political party. Okay? We don't try to do that. You know why? You know why? Because in the grander scheme of things, we are facing a very real fascist threat in this country. Okay? Let's talk about the stakes. This isn't a game. And so, especially in recognition of that, we rally behind our candidate's nominee. That is what we do. Whether that nominee is you or the person you're going for, person you're not going for. Any Democrat right now that is trying to establish a precedent of not uniting behind the party's nominee is playing a dangerous game with our democracy. A dangerous game. So I want to send a very direct message. I want to send a very direct message to some of those folks. Because if you, especially as an elected official, and as a Democrat or elected official, try to go out and undermine your party's nominee, how can you ever turn around and ask people to support you when you are the party's nominee? You know? We need to be about unity here, now more than ever. There's north, there's south, there's east, there's west. No, we are one Buffalo. We are one Buffalo. And we're in this together. And together we are going to elect India Walton for mayor. And my ask of you, Buffalo, my ask of you, don't just give her a win. Give her a mandate. Give her a mandate. Text. Send your text. 403. Okay? We're here to rally. We are here to be in community. We are here to bear witness to the fact that we are not alone, that together we are powerful, but we have to change that, and we have to take that energy and put it into action. So when you go out today, go to your early vote location, but I'm gonna need you, I'm gonna need you to work, and I'm gonna work too. We all gotta do that work. We got a text bank. I want everybody here, commit to right now to the thing that you're gonna do. Are you going to bring 5 people to the polls with you? Are you going to sign up for a phone bank or text banking shift? Are you going to do a canvas? By the way, door-to-door canvassing, most effective turnover field activity that we have. So that's how we come to this victory. It's not in tweets or attendance numbers. It's in doors and calls and votes. That's how we do this. So you all ready to do that? You all